Hello guys, welcome to another trade breakdown video. Today I'll be breaking down the trade that I took on Wednesday, 4th of September 2024. As you can see right here, it was a sell position. It was a sell position. The weekly bias was clearly bearish, as I will show you in the weekly breakdown video, and the daily bias was clearly bearish according to how this candle closed. And when I go and align it with the DXY, clearly we can see it is bullish it is more bullish rather than bearish. So that is why I was looking for sells on Wednesday. But to be honest with you, the bias was not one of the cleanest because of how this candle closed. This was literally looking like a bullish candle, and also DXY was not clean. So this day, trading on Wednesday would be very low probability, as you can see right there, because my bias was not clear, right? So that is one of the reasons that there is one thing to keep in mind: the bias was not one of the clearest. On Wednesday there was JOLTS job opening New York news. So on London session there was no news, which was a green flag because we trade London. Only if we don't get a trade on London, that is when we look for New York, or else we don't need to force anything on the New York, right? We are London session traders. So on the H4 we can clearly see, if I'm looking for sells, I will look for some sort of market structure shifts: higher low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, break of structure, some sort of accumulation, lower highs, lower lows, break of structure here to the downside. As we can see on the H4 time frame, this is the supply zone, this is the new supply zone right here. There is a break of structure somewhere on here. So that is where I would be looking for sells if I were to look for sells, right? So obviously I will wait for the Asian range to close. Until and unless the Asian range closes, I don't do anything personally. So the M30 supply zone was here. I was looking for a trade from here. This supply zone was made on the New York session, so getting a move in the New York session was very ideal. As we can see on this day, the London session already gave us the move, meaning Asian high got swept. Literally it was a MAC model that Rob Dono teaches us, but it was very late. This was not even the MAC model. This was a trade which was just not in our favor, meaning this trade was not in our strategy, not in our plan. So I didn't took this trade. I waited for the supply zone to get mitigated. After now, the same concept, whenever the London session is accumulating or the London session didn't give us the desired move, that is when I look for the New York session. After sweeping the Asian liquidity and then the London liquidity, the New York session is more powerful than the London, because it is sweeping London liquidity and Asian liquidity both, right? So there is a huge amount of liquidity. There's inducement. The price induced this position right around here. It swept the M30 supply zone, which I was looking to mark, and this supply zone was very strong. As you can see, huge amount of selling happened from here. But also we have to keep in mind, on New York session there is news. As we can see, there was JOLTS job opening, right, as I have shown to you guys. Yes, there was a supply zone. Yes, our setup was appearing here. Everything was there. But obviously there was news. So whenever there is news, and even if your A-class setup, this is literally an A-class setup in New York session, I would take this trade any day with my eyes closed if I get my entry model right around here, right? But only because there was news at the timing we entered. So I tried to enter at this timing, which was 7 p.m. Indian Standard Time, which is just after New York open, which was literally news, and news can either go to our direction and also opposite our direction. If we get an entry and we are in good profit before the news arrives, that is when we should break even the trade, or at least take some partials, right? That is what we have learned. And yeah, mate, this trade was a losing trade on Wednesday. This was the breakdown. Literally it was an A-class setup. Everything we want to see in a trade was here, but it is what it is. There was news. I'll show you once again. On 7:30 p.m. there was news, and we got stopped out at 7:30 p.m. as you can see right around there, right? So yeah, mate, that's the trade breakdown for you guys. And I've also journaled this trade to learn from this trade and come back to the journal, because we know giving ourselves feedback, journaling the trades is what gonna improve us. And I can literally see the tangible improvements in my trading, mate.